Yo, what's poppin', Cobra Star Green? Back with you guys with another video. You guys first time finding my channel, anything like that for your boy, hit the subscribe button, all that video. Yes, today I'll be doing my review for the Thunderbolts or Thunderbolts or whatever, however you want to say it. So yes, if you guys can't like this video, it really does help. But first thing I do gotta say, if you guys are seeing the video quality look a little bit different, it's because so this is my main camera that I usually use for recording. Well, a piece broke, like an HDMI cord piece kind of broke to this camera, so I have to go buy another one, which I will be doing after I upload this video today. So regular quality, we'll be back very soon. Just for this video alone, I just gotta use my regular webcam instead of my main camera. So with saying that, go ahead and cue that intro.
We got a problem. 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 Yeah, it's probably you. Yeah, we got a problem. We got a problem. Yeah, we got a problem. We got a problem.
So let's go ahead and let's talk about this new Marvel movie called The Thunderbolts. Now, is this one good? Is this one bad? Well, I'm here to tell you guys this. I'm just gonna pretty much tell you guys off the rip. This was definitely a lot better than I expected. Now, if you guys know anything about the Thunderbolts in the comics, you know that it's big, the big cast, but we ain't got time for all that, and we ain't got space for all that. So the cast is very, very small here, and I think it works well with the premise and the plot that they have here. Like I said, you have Yelena, Red Guardian right there, Ghost, Taskmaster. It's a new character right here you see in Bob. We'll get to him in a little bit. John Walker, aka the fake Captain America, and one of our favorites, the Winter Soldier. You know what I'm saying? That's the group we have here. Now, I will say this off rip without like really spoiling too much. There is an early death in the movie, like very early on. I'm not gonna tell you guys who it is, but there's an early death in the movie. But I will say with a bunch, because you can look at these people, these are C-list characters. I know if the screen is glitching a little bit, I'm sorry, I get another cord for this because my other computer's tripping too. But if you guys look at these characters, you're like, damn, this is a bunch of C-list characters, right? So and could be characters like no one really cares about, you know, and they've been villains in pretty much everybody else's properties. So like, why should I care about them here? I will tell you, the movie gives you a lot of reasons to care about these characters, and I think one of the reasons why it makes you care about these characters is, look, it's something a lot of Marvel movies actually don't do, and it's to actually make you remember that these are human characters at the end of the day. These human characters, they have feelings, they have emotions. They go through what we go through pretty much every day, mental health, you know? And I thought it did a really great job at showcasing that. A lot of this movie deals on depression, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, I know I saw somebody talk about getting their tissues and stuff like that. No, I don't think it's that deep, y'all. It's not like where you're gonna be crying type of what they're showing you, but you do see these characters go through depression, go through grief a little bit, and things in that nature. And I thought it worked well. Like I said, here's John Walker going through one of his, you know what I'm saying? So it does showcase that. And a really good way how it showcases it is you have this new character they showed. Now, I'm not gonna say too much about this character because this is a non-spoiler review. But you have a new character that kind of pops up in here that the whole film, if you really think about it, kind of centers around this character. He's not the main character, but the movie really wouldn't happen without this character. And if you guys know the comics, you know who the guy turns into be. But I'm only gonna refer to him right now as Bob. Now, Bob was one of my favorite characters because you guys know his backstory. Pretty much he's an addict, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's a meth addict or something like that. They talk about it in the movie, but I think I kind of forgot about it. But he's like a meth addict and he's trying to recover, right? So a lot of the like, because he has some certain powers, right? But with his powers, pretty much he has these characters going back into the past and looking back in their past, right? So pretty much the whole movie kind of centers around his character. All the depression, all the mental health problems that these characters might endure and go through, you see it through Bob's character. Pretty much, you know what I'm saying? And I thought that was so well done. Like, the imagery in this movie, I was like, God damn, like that is dark. Like now I don't 100% agree with these characters, right? But you kind of feel for them and you kind of get them watching this movie. Like I thought before I watched this movie, I'm like, look, I know who all these characters are, but I don't think I'll truly care about these characters like that. But watching this movie right here, I was like, damn, it gave me a reason to not only care about these characters, but to actually root for these characters. I'm in the third act of the movie. I'm like, hey, do y'all thing, you know what I'm saying? Y'all do y'all thing. I'm loving what y'all are doing. So like I said, this movie does a really great job at that, at actually getting you, because you guys seen these people in other properties, you ain't on their side at all, and this movie does a great job at actually getting you on their side. Now the reason why how it works, and Corey brought this up in Double Toasted, but I had it written down too, but another reason why it makes you be able to root for these characters so much when you probably shouldn't is because there's actually a worse character in play, and that is Valentina. Now, I'm not finna say her full name, but pretty much think about Thunderbolt Ross. Like, think about like what he would have became, you know what I'm saying? That's her. Just pure evil. You know, like everybody around her, like you can, I guess from a certain point, kind of like get what she's trying to do, but she's just so evil about going through it, you know, like her plan. I'm like, your plan is not gonna work, you know. And I will say, Julia Lewis, I think that's how I say her name. She does a fantastic job at playing this character, because you really hate her. You know, watching the movie, I'm like, God, I can't wait for her to get hers. You know what I'm saying? But she does a great job at like playing the character she's playing. But like I said, it works because you root for a worse character, and you know that's how they pretty much always do. If you see all these movies where it's like the Suicide Squad, stuff like that, it always works because there's always another character in the movie that you always really root against, even more than the people you're supposed to root against. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it will always work. But she did a great job. And watching the movie as it goes along, you see these people that are used to just working by themselves, they actually end up really working well as a team. You know what I'm saying? These are people that are like assassins. You know, they always have that one mission and they just complete that one mission. Like I said, they don't work in groups. These are a bunch of people that just don't work together, or they don't work with nobody else but themselves. And to see how the movie flowed and had them actually work together and actually gave them a really good reason to work together, instead of just having them like, look, they're gonna work together. You know what I'm saying? Boom. No, it actually gave these people a really good reason to want to be like, you know what? I don't really want to work with you, but I have to work with you, because if I don't work with you, everybody's dying, you know? So yes, it works. This movie, I will say, works. And I know we were talking about it on Double Toasted, but I was wondering why when I was watching the movie, I was like, why does this movie feel so, it doesn't typically feel like a Marvel movie. Now, yes, it has its action moments that are like, okay, those are Marvel type moments, right? But I'm like, this one feels just more grounded, more, like I said, more going into mental health than any other Marvel property. And I was wondering why, and found out last night it's because the freaking writers. Both of these, I think there's two writers, and I don't think the writers, or one of them has dealt with Marvel, has done with some like Thor Ragnarok, Black Widow, stuff in that nature, and another writer has done like BoJack Horseman and stuff. So it's just like, when you put these two type of writing styles together, you get this, and it's a great Marvel film. I will tell you guys, it is a really good Marvel film. I will tell you guys, when it comes to the performances from everybody, there wasn't any bad performances, y'all. Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, David Harbour, Wyatt Russell, everybody to me did a great and fantastic job. They all have their moments to shine. One thing this movie does well is, I know these might be characters you might not even know. You might have missed a Marvel movie, so you're like, who the hell is that? You know, who is that? Who's she? You know, but this movie does a really great job at like showcasing and telling you guys, okay, here's a little bit of their backstory. So you don't have to watch the other Marvel properties to watch this movie. It's not like you don't truly have to go do homework, you know, like you don't have to go watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. Now it will help to go watch that, but this movie does, you know, have a really good job at like, you know, giving every character their moment to be like, hey, look, this is where I came from. So yeah, you don't, I had somebody ask me that a couple days ago. Like, do you have to watch any other Marvel project to really get this one? It helps, but you don't have to. But yeah, if you guys know me, you guys know I am big on mental health. I love I'm talking about mental health. I go through mental health a lot, honestly. So it's really cool that Marvel was able to display this and able to actually bring this up. And it makes sense to actually bring it up with these characters. You know, you have these characters that people forget about or don't truly care about. So when they get their time to shine and their time to showcase, you get to understand why they go through what they go through. You know what I'm saying? Like the major thing is their backstory, where they came from. Shoot, they go through Yelena's backstory, and I'm like, God, her backstory gets dark. Like, there's signs of depression. Oh my, like her when they go through hers. I'm just telling y'all, I don't want to say too much because I feel like I already said too much about her backstory, but hers gets dark, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, I feel like I can relate on a certain level, not all the way, but I'm like, I could see why she becomes how she becomes, you know what I'm saying? So they didn't want to get too much away with that. But look, I really thought this movie was, like I said, a lot better than I thought it would be. It's not really your typical Marvel movie, honestly, if I'm being completely honest. Like I said, your action scenes are there. But I think action scenes are actually some of the worst parts about the film, I would say. I think the best parts are just when these characters just become and just be characters, and you understand what they going through, their backstory, their grief, their mental health problems, stuff like that. I think those are the best parts of the film, honestly. And I will say this, man. This movie has some great writing in it, because if you watch these other Marvel movies, something like that, and these other TV shows, you could see something and be like, okay, where is this going? Like, how does this flow with the big Marvel Cinematic Universe? You know what I'm saying? Like, will this go anywhere? You know, you never know. But with this one, this movie flows. It flows great. It flows well. It actually gets you excited to see what's coming next. That's all I want to do with a Marvel movie, right? I want to go into a Marvel movie and be like, all right, can you not only have me hyped for this movie, but can you get me hyped for what's coming next? And this movie does that. God damn, it's been a while, man. I remember I was watching Captain America and I'm like, I don't really care what comes after this, you know, but watching this one, I'm like, oh yeah, bring on Fantastic Four, you know what I'm saying? Bring on whatever's next, bring on Doomsday. Yeah, like it gets you excited for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So yes, this movie works. I love this movie. And last thing I will say, you know, like with these Thunderbolts or these Suicide Squad movies, I will say there's sometimes where when the characters come together, it doesn't truly make sense. I will say, quick thing, in this movie, it does make sense on how they come together. Now, they've spoiled it in some marketing. I won't bring that up at all, but how they come together does make sense. So yeah, my final thoughts. Absolutely love this. Like I said, once again, not your typical Marvel movie, at least in my eyes. Now, yeah, it has the action, it has the comedy, but like I said, it gets down and gritty in some areas and dark in some areas. And I'm like, damn, I did not think y'all would do that. So yes, I definitely had a pleasant time watching this. I ended up seeing this on IMAX. So I would definitely say, go check it out, man. Like I said, go check it out. There's 2 post-credit scenes, 1 post-credit scene. The first one is like your typical laughing gag Marvel post-credit scene. Like, you know, remember the ant beating on the drum and stuff like that. One of those. And then the second one is the one where it's like, oh, it gets you hyped for what's coming soon, you know what I'm saying? So definitely stay to the very end. But hey, man, I didn't give my rating. So I guess my rating on this, I definitely think it's one of the better Marvel movies. I gotta go probably strong 8.5 out of 10, man. I definitely have fun watching this, man. Might even go see it again, who knows. But hey, y'all first time finding my channel, subscribe button, also the video, tell me your thoughts, complaint, criticism, so down below. Hey, we'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.